Hey, Joe, you ready?
I am.
Are you? How ready are you?
Very ready.
You seem not ready.
No,
you seem like you more in the eyebrow region. Seems a little bit like not ready.
Okay. I'm all right.
How you doing? You got going on?
I'm here. I'm all right.
Hey, boys, we got a Johnson in the building. Not a Jackson Powers Johnson.
Got a BJ.
But we got a Ben Johnson in the building.
BJ Johnson.
Yeah, we got a BJ in the building, boys. We got a BJ.
I'm not gonna say anything.
No? You leaving that one alone?
Nope.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love to another edition of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the squad in the building. Yeah. As always, the super producer, Joel Holt, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, running the ones and twos, Mr. Drew Better, you knew better, you do better. Say, who better? Nobody, bro. Yo, we got a jam-packed show for you today as we're going to go through our dream off-season scenario. We're going to look at filling out the rest of this coaching staff. Of course, take a look at some pieces in free agency and even start a little bit of draft breakdown. Could I interest you in a Jackson Powers Johnson? Sorry, wrong draft. That's my bad.
Last year.
We already got a Johnson. We got a Johnson. We've got Johnson. You can't have more than one Johnson on the team. Technically, we have two Johnsons.
Yeah.
Actually, we got three Johnsons.
You got a few Johnsons.
Colin Johnson.
Oh, well, we got four
Johnsons.
Johnsons.
Whoa.
Hey, and they're all hanging out.
He said, "Whoa."
And they're all
He
hanging
said,
out.
"Whoa."
All that and more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze
That was
Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. What's going on, boys? Everybody good? Everybody good?
Oh, I'm feeling good.
complain.
On a high.
On a high?
Oh.
On a high.
What'd you do on the way here?
Oh, I'm just saying. It was.
So, what did you partake of?
What'd you? Oh, whoa!
Whoa! Hey, no.
Going
none of
full
that.
Michael Irving on
None of
us.
that. None of that. Whoa! Yeah.
Yeah. Where's that?
Ooh.
I can't hear it anymore.
Oh,
It's
you
not
can't
as
hear
good.
shit.
I can't hear it.
That's all right.
You gotta fix the soundboard, dog. I don't like it.
That's what you've been saying
There's
forever.
always something. Yeah, weeks. You know what he fixes? Drywall. That's all we get out of this guy. Just drywall.
He fixes light bulbs. That's what he
Oh,
does.
man. Hey,
Leave
listen.
me alone.
No. Let's start it off here because we do have Ben Johnson in the building.
we
A lot
do.
of excitement around Ben Johnson being here, but there's a lot of big pieces that need to continue to be added to this team. I see some of the names that are popping up that are being interviewed. Feels a little Rooney Rule-ish to me, if you
Yep.
ask me. It's like, hey, Bears, who do you want to interview next? We're going to interview Blackity Black.
Oh, man.
Oh, we're gonna get canceled on that.
Where'd you find this guy? We're all black. How can we get canceled on making a
I'm
black
like,
joke?
what's going on here?
I know we all a little of the fair skin, but everyone here is black.
Blackity
You know, I told a dude the other day I was half Italian. He was like, I don't believe you. I was like, what? Come on. All right.
Hey, that's me because he's seen you in public. Hey, when I listen to you on the radio, you don't sound like us. I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you, man.
I swear I thought Lawrence Holmes was white when I first started listening to the radio. I was like, oh, because like, hey, Uncle Terry. I thought, I was like, oh, snap.
How black can you get? No, but
Blackity black.
But no, man, listen, at the end of the day, I think the interesting part about the rest of this coaching staff is it seems like there's going to be an expensive budget put in for these coaches. So the dream coaching scenario, boys, I'll put mines out there talking about my coaching scenario, and we'll see kind of where we differ here, because as you can see on the board here, that is my dream. That's where I get excited. That's where I get tingly. You give me a Ben Johnson, you give me a Johnson, you give me a Fraley, and you give me an Allen, and I'll give you 10 wins. I think that is the coaching staff that gets the most out of the talent that the Chicago Bears currently have, because we've seen Dennis Allen have to work with a little bit of subpar talent, still have one of those top 10 defenses that we've talked about. We have seen Ben Johnson have to scheme things together to try and make it work when guys are banged up. And we've seen Hank Fraley put together one of those offensive lines that we talk about as an elite offensive line on a fairly consistent basis, no matter who is the five guys that are out there. And I think that's the thing that when I look at a guy like Hank Fraley, when I look at Dennis Allen, when I look at Ben Johnson, what can you do when it's not perfect? That's what I want to see out of my coaching trio. What does it look like when it is not great? Because there's going to be more. We can put together the best team in the world. Left tackle tears his ACL. Well, season's not over.
Well, we get the next guy.
You got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Season's not done. You got to work through that. You can have the greatest center in the world. We can spend all offseason. We're gonna go out. We're gonna get a center. We sign Ryan Kelly. We draft one in the second or third round. We figure this out. The starter gets hurt. Now you got to play the rookie.
Yeah.
How are you at player development? That's why I think I get a little bit excited with this grouping of the three. For special teams, for me, shout out Gaines Report. I was going to get to that. Give me a second. For special teams, to me, I do like the name that's already on the list. Darren Rizzi.
Yeah.
I think that if you're talking about going out and getting a top 4, not only is this probably the most expensive group that you can get, and I think for me, how important is Hank Fraley is the question. Because if he is important, I would overpay to get a guy like him in the building, even to the point where maybe you give him one of those assistant head coaching titles. But Ben Johnson needs his right-hand guy, and it seems like that's what Fraley was for him in Detroit.
Well, I like what he said. Ben said that, he's going to bring guys together that are going to basically help assist with planning, and then he's going to decide at the end of the week what things he wants to do. So everybody's going to bring game plans and plays or whatever they need. To me, what I see is that he is the de facto offensive coordinator. So in some ways, I'd like to see that we might get 2 offensive line coaches. So if he say you bring Fraley,
you'll get Fraley. You get Fraley's guy who's going to teach Fraley's system.
And so now you got that whole situation. I was looking up for me, I was thinking I think Mike Munchak, for example, Hall of Fame player. He was a Tennessee Titans guy. I think he's out of coaching, but was coming back. Somebody like, I saw that Bill Callahan was a really good offensive line coach. Dante Scarnecchia, guys like them. Mm-hmm. Are we able to identify?
Who's the guy you looked up who was dead?
I don't know. It was like top O-line coach. It was like 1960 to 40. He was dead.
It was literally major league. It was like most of these guys are out of their prime. Half these guys never had a prime. This guy's dead.
Take him off the list.
Off the list.
Phenomenal,
dog.
Yeah, so just seeing that would be ideal. The thing is that the trenches it's what we got to do. We need to get this line right. Period. Doesn't matter. Every time we've had a winning squad, to a degree, we had a good line. And so you got to get
literally. And I've said that a bunch of times. Remember the last time we went to an NFC Championship game? Who was our starting center?
Olin Kreutz.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You know what Olin's doing now?
For a while.
He's teaching offensive linemen how to play offensive line.
Doing that for a while.
Yeah.
Is it time to bring him back?
Olin?
I don't know if I'll say this. It's a big promotion, not to say that, but Olin right now is coaching with Jason McKee at the high school level. I believe he coaches the offensive line for him at the high school level. That'd be a big jump to the NFL, even though he's been a player. I understand that you had a relationship, but I do think that's a big jump to go from high school kids to NFL players. But I will say this. I've seen Olin Kreutz coach these kids. It is not who you think Olin Kreutz is. It's not the dude that's like,
fire brimstone in your head, yeah.
He's literally like, hey, man, we can't make that move there. You got to get here. You got to get down low, get your hands out. Like, I watched him do it, and I was just like, this is amazing. This is who is this?
Shout out to Pterodactyl Pops. I believe they got rid of all. They're looking to replace. Rezzy's supposed to be the special teams.
We did not see a change in Coach Hightower.
No,
that is the one name that was not on the list. Eric Washington was removed from his position. Thomas Brown was removed. I don't know if Coach Hightower will be retained. He banged the drum for Velus Jones for a long time. I don't know if that's on him or if that's on Poles.
No, well.
But Velus Jones was in that building for far too long for my liking. What I'll say is, though, that I would assume you're probably going to move on from everybody who is in place right now and bring in a whole new staff to try and figure some things out. Shout out to the super chat from Big Blaze. Said Ben looked at the players in the press conference with his crazy eyes from the movie The New Guy.
His crazy eyes.
Bro, he did look them dead in the eye. He was like,
he had some intention on that.
Prepare to be uncomfortable.
Be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Oh.
I'm Batman. It was like, wait a minute, dog. Let you calm down.
I liked, from what I saw with him, it's like he comes across with a lot of confidence. It feels like he has command. I'd never seen that where they showed, the head coach and he walks in the building and they're all like all around him parading around. It was like, he better be cold. He better
I
be
say
good.
this, being up there, and I said this with JC.
How did it feel?
Hey, bro, it was different.
If
It was not in the media room.
Some aura. A new
It wasn't in the media room. It was like
it was
orange. Downstairs in Hallis Hall.
Oh,
And there's like this downstairs area. There's like this massive
room
like
they've never used.
they don't use it much.
That's
like I'm not
crazy.
gonna lie to you, they don't use it much. They use it for like big events. So like we went there for a we met with like I think Flus was there and he spoke. Kevin Warren was there and he spoke. And then we ended up interviewing. They had us on stage for an interview to like Bears partners, and then we ended up interviewing one of the lead scout for Flus. And we were talking about like, oh, you guys gonna draft Caleb Williams? He was like, yeah, we'll see. And he knew what was going on. But it was like early on. But like, this is the only thing I've ever seen down there. I'm sure they do like banquets down there. They had this thing decked out. And then on the other side is like this big media studio. And they had that's where you see Caleb and Kevin and all of them standing up against the wall. So it was different.
Yeah.
It was very different. And I think that the Bears feel that this is different, and so they're going to spend differently. That's why I have the conversation like I was bringing up about Hank Fraley. If he's Ben's guy, you outbid Seattle.
Get the money.
Yeah.
Now, he may just want to call plays and the money may not be a factor.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if he's Ben's guy, you go get Ben's guy.
I'm like, this is all about Kevin Warren. I'm sorry. I can't sit here and be like, oh, George McCaskey, he finally figured out the 10-plus years of being chairman. You mean you need to spend money on coaching? You get what you pay for, finally? It's like, this is all
You didn't
Kevin
have
Warren.
to,
Get
though.
what you pay for.
You have to, but my point is
But
that,
think about this. How much money Dick can make?
I don't know. That's back then.
How much money did
I don't
Dick
remember.
make? Small money.
Of
It wasn't
course.
great.
They probably made
Right?
$300,000.
How much money
a
did
year.
Lovey make?
Probably
He
about
was a
$5
lower paid
million or
coach.
something like that.
How many
lowest
times have we
paid.
gone to the Super Bowl?
Once.
Twice. Come on, keep up, guys.
Huh?
We've been.
Oh,
to
you're
the Super
saying
Bowl
twice in general.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant with Lovey.
No,
I
once,
got it.
Once
I'm with
with
you.
each.
I'm with you.
One
So
one's been there
you
twice.
had to have somebody walk in the building and have the cojones to go, you need to spend more money.
Mm-hmm.
Ted Phillips wasn't going to be that guy.
No.
Ted Phillips was
He
not
He
was
was
going to be.
never going to be
The
that
minute
guy.
that Kevin Warren gets in there, it's changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like this. Shout out to Kevin Warren.
But listen, I got to shout out George for changing. You changed
Well,
your
you listen
mindset.
to the right
Opening up
guy.
the
You
playbook.
listen to the
Opening
right-
up
listen to the
checkbook,
cool guy.
right.
You listen to the right guy.
Yeah.
They
Hey,
finally opened up the good old dust-covered wallet.
Yeah. The was it the Georgia Costanza
you
wallet?
think he's got like that old
you know what I'm talking about from Seinfeld? Got like all
That's
the
hilarious.
receipts in
Yeah.
it. He closed that mess.
I was gonna say,
God.
you think he's got that old like long billfold from like the old Wild Wild West that you had to like unwrap leather out of,
You know what? Because he still got his checkbook
and it
in
had
there.
like full on freaking like pamphlets for dollars back
Christian
then.
as
He's
ever.
the guy that still
Good
walks
God.
around with his checkbook in his pocket.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
What do you got, JC?
No,
what's your thoughts on a dream coaching scenario?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of on point with where you're at, but just kind of throw a little bit of a different vibe on it. One of the things that I saw with Ben Johnson right after his first presser, he went on a whole media tour thing, and I believe who are the guys over there on NFL on NBC Pro Football.
Pro Football Talk.
Yeah, Pro Football Talk.
Mike Tirico.
No.
I'm looking straight at him too. Bottom second picture. You know who I'm talking about. But basically,
I can't see that. I ain't got my glasses on. I ain't gonna lie to
Florio.
you. Mike Florio.
That's who I was thinking about. Florio and him had a conversation. One of the things that he mentioned is when it comes to the people that he's going to hire, he wants to make sure, yes, he's going to obviously have his hand in everything, not just the offensive play calling, but he wants to give full responsibility to those guys. He wants to delegate.
Yeah.
That's the word that he mentioned is he's okay with delegating and allowing people to run their part of their role. That's one of the things that he said he learned under the head coach of the Lions, Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that he said he learned under being there in the Lions organization is, not necessarily having to do every single thing just because he has a full plate of responsibility, but using those guys that he's going to bring in to make sure that they do their job. And that's the reason why I'm fine with this list. You look at a guy like Hank Fraley, who by all accounts, has had the experience, has had the offensive line that has been successful. Detroit's offensive line is tops probably in the league.
Yeah.
And so when you bring a guy like him,
Philly,
I mean, they're up there.
They in that conversation.
I mean, I don't see a problem on their offensive line. So when you can kind of steal a guy like Hank Fraley from them, could it also mean that maybe you can steal one of their offensive linemen along with that? That's one of the things that I'm hoping for. Is we talked about rumors of maybe Zeitler kind of following behind him.
Yeah.
If we were to get that, so that's the gift with that. And then of course, I'm fine with the defensive coordinator from the Saints. I love
Dennis Allen.
I love Dennis Allen.
There's two names that scream to me: is Dennis Allen and/or Robert Saleh.
Robert Saleh would be fine, but I feel
What
like
about
Robert
Chico?
Saleh is going to be going somewhere else.
I would love Chico as a DC. I don't know if Chico wants to be a DC. From what I heard from people who are very close to Chico,
He wants to be
he came in for a head coaching interview.
Yeah.
He was serious about being a head coach.
I don't think he'll take it.
So he may, right? Because listen, you got to step back into a head coach. Is he going to get a head coaching job in the NFL again? I can't tell you that.
Yeah.
The Washington situation ended very poorly. He was a part of an organization that was run terribly, and that left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths around the NFL. But I do believe Chico can coach. I believe he can be a head coach. I think when you gave him a great quarterback, why I wouldn't have minded him here was you gave him a great quarterback, you went to the Super Bowl with him.
Yep.
Cam Newton just was never really nowhere near as healthy as he was his MVP season after that, and it made the biggest difference because Chico ran him into the ground. Yeah. So those are those are the parts that are tough there. But like, I think there's a ton of great candidates for defensive coordinator out there, but it's all about the relationship that you have and the relationship that you have with your players and having championship relationships in the building. Dennis Allen is a Super Bowl champion.
Yes, he is.
And I was going to add to that, like the whole point, even back on the recruits, it's like a lot of these guys is about who they know, what's the network, you know. So, like I think Ben Johnson had said prior years, he didn't know enough people to have the right contacts to get people to build a staff if he wanted to leave. So now he's more comfortable, a little more empowered. So that's a big get Dennis Allen. You're talking about a recent Super Bowl winning championship, DC. It reminds me of like Andy Reid with
Recent?
No. Well, like about 6, 7 years.
14 years ago.
Well, 14 years ago. But he's been a top.
Right, it's with the Saints, right? It was with the Saints.
Yes.
No, he's on the Saints. No, he's on the Saints now.
No, he was on the Saints. He was the DC for Chico, Sean Payton.
Sean Payton. All right,
but that's like 2008. I ain't gonna lie to you. What year was that? What year did they win the Super Bowl?
17 years ago.
But he's been in the top 10 in terms of defense in the last few years.
Yes,
That's my point. Made me forget how I was going. But either way. I forgot.
Well, here's my point, because I wanted to elaborate on why I wanted to go a little bit of a different route. My runner-up, if we were not to get an OC, because we're hearing that maybe there might be a little pushback in Hank Fraley, is the other guy, the passing game coordinator, Frank Engstrand from the Lions. I mean, you want to keep pulling from them. I'm fine with that, because you're pulling from a really good organization that's been good for the last couple of years, and he's a guy that also would bring some really good experience and kind of that connection to being and continuing to evaluate, or rather develop Caleb Williams. And so I wouldn't mind him as a runner-up for that OC position.
Ooh, Drew, you gonna say something?
Yeah, I would like to say something there.
Well,
Thank you.
Joel can't control himself.
I like Crimson's comment though, because shout out to Crimson.
No, what I would say is that I'm okay with. Really, I don't have a really preference, honestly. I don't. Other than I would like Dennis Allen as the DC, but I also like Robert Saleh, like you mentioned. I think those two individuals have had solid defenses over a number of years.
Yeah.
And they are they didn't do too well in head coaching spots, so they're able to stay for a little while longer and get a more profound grasp on being a head coach. So that means to me we got at least 3 years before they're ready to leave. With either one of those two.
Well, the thing with Dennis is Dennis Allen leaving again. I mean, this is his second head coaching job. People don't even remember his first.
It's the reverse of
it's the reverse McDaniels.
Of McDaniels. Don't go nowhere.
This is his second head coaching job, and he's been horrible at both of them. So I don't know if he's getting another shot at it.
Yeah, he could be the next.
Which is great. He could be Vic Fangio, which is great.
I'm fine with that.
He'll be around for a while.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny? Now think about like how them hiring Eberflus, it was like, okay, cover 2. And it's felt like that type of team. This might be a much better upgrade version of the Nagy Fangio squad. If they go 3-4, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with getting some big jumbos.
Yeah, but you're getting rid of a lot of people on that defense that you drafted. Kyler Gordon now has no position on this team. Tyreek probably sticks around. Jalen is there because Jalen came in 3-4.
Yeah, move him to safety.
Just
Guys, move
Even
him.
at 3-4 though, you
keep it
still
that simple.
No, you just
when they go dime package, you still need a.
and
Yeah.
no, the problem is Javon Dexter was terrible as a 2-gap.
Maybe make him a
big.
defensive. He's still a big defensive end in a 3-4. They need 3 big
He's
guys.
not a defensive end. He don't have swim moves. He doesn't have outside he's not a defensive end kind of player. He would have to cut weight to be a defensive end.
The big three clog. They go up against and take up double teams. They allow the linebackers. That's where the 4 linebackers come in. Those are the defensive end guys. The linebackers themselves, so the 2 middle linebackers.
Right.
So the idea is that Dexter they might need a new big nose tackle.
What you'd say is Dexter is becoming a linebacker.
No, Dexter's becoming a big defensive end as he goes up and takes double teams on the offensive line. The 3 big boys, they basically create the double team. The 4 linebackers, the 2 outside linebackers, those are the ones that are actually your defensive ends in a 3-4.
Yeah.
So how many are on the line? 3, right?
3 on the main line, and you got your linebackers.
Yeah, you got
so
3
2 middle
all right,
linebackers.
okay.
3, 4.
So you might have like
Right, no, I'm
Sanborn.
They're not different, is it? 4, 3.
The issue is the
3,
issue is
4.
does
There you go.
who's the linebacker that we have?
Jack
Tremaine?
Sanborn.
Does
Tremaine
Tremaine is he able to be more
Tremaine
of a,
Evans might not be
because
here
he's
anyway.
more of a they had him here as more of a
I'm
coverage guy
Yeah.
versus was he be a guy that's attacking? But I mean it's kind of like the Urlacher situation. Urlacher when he came here, he was more of a blitzing linebacker. They had the big jumbos with Keith Traylor and Ted Washington. Then when Lovey comes,
I like him a linebacker.
yes he was. He came in as a
safety.
They drafted him as safety.
And they made him a linebacker.
They made him a linebacker, and then Mentor, I guess, went down, and he ends up taking over, and then he became the middle linebacker in general. But the point is that he started off in a 4-3, but then his speed allowed him to be a coverage guy.
Yeah.
Does that mean Tremaine Edmonds can flip that?
Tremaine Edmonds may not be here. Tremaine Edmonds has really underplayed. I would be surprised. Maybe Dennis Allen can unlock him, but I would be surprised. Tremaine Edmonds has not played anywhere near up to the contract.
I'm fine with him being off the books.
He hasn't. You're right. But could that have been because of the style that Eberflus had?
No.
Because he was great in Buffalo.
No, he wasn't.
He was great in Buffalo.
He was a Pro Bowler.
He was good.
He was
That's
great in
Pro
Buffalo.
Bowler.
His
So
second
you
season?
can't go from great
His
to that
second and
dog
third
water.
season. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler.
Right. You
me
can't
see
go
this,
from great
is
to
it-
that dog water without it being a systematic issue, in my opinion. So get a new guy in
I
there.
could've sworn
He
They
might
ran
be
a
better.
4-3 though. He came from the same style of defense.
But scheme is different. And what his
How it's called is different, but his role changed. He went from being not the main guy to having to be the number 1 guy over there. But Tremaine was a dog in Buffalo. Like
that's what I'm saying. You
was
just
balling
don't
in
lose
Buffalo.
skill like that. You lose it over age, not from like 1 year to the next.
I think the thing with Tremaine, and it could be a Flus thing. It could have been, right? The end of the last year, you saw him playing better.
But you didn't have the pressure.
That's what it comes down to.
You didn't
me.
have the
and
scheme didn't work all the way.
Yurko said this
He played
early
better
on.
last year though.
Yeah, but
They had a
you got
better-
pressure last year. Like in the second half of the season, you were getting to the quarterback way more than you were in the first half of the season. This season, you didn't get to the quarterback at all. So listen, Yurko said this when we started this. He said you built this team backwards. If you have linebackers out there, they're going to be fighting for their lives if you don't have your front 4. Now, TJ Edwards is a great off-ball tackle linebacker. He covers well. He gets downhill quickly. He makes his decision quickly. I love that. But the big thing is Tremaine Edmonds can be that guy if you have a great front 4. The goal is if you're going out to get Dennis Allen, find a great front 4. Find those guys that are going to make an impact and have him have a system that can always get guys home, which is something that we have seen. His defenses have been really good at getting pressure to the quarterback. His defensive have been really good at getting to the quarterback. They haven't been great at not putting up points, but maybe that's where the talent gap is. They weren't able to acquire a ton of talent out there in New Orleans because of the cap.
Pat, speaking of talent, we got over 300 in the chat.
Over 300 in the chat. 300.
Well, we
Okay,
didn't do
so
100. We didn't do 200.
Yeah, we got the 300.
He was a Pro Bowler in 2020 and 2021. That's where I'm missing it. But I could have sworn before the Bears got him, that's where I think he had an off season.
Well, then this kind of translation to the topic too. If you don't Johnson said that he likes our talent.
Yeah.
So he doesn't. So
Well, he's
we
not
bring
going
it
to
in.
not say that. He's not going to come in and be like,
yeah, we
y'all
got a lot of work to do.
suck.
no, he's gonna bring in and say, bring out
Now,
the Cooper Scooper.
I do believe him because, yes, we do have talent all over the place.
Yes. No, listen, there's a ton of talent on this team. I think you go from this to your dream free agency position, though, because he talked about it on Carmen and Yurko yesterday. The part where you felt you could attack this Bears team was the trenches. You knew they weren't going to get home to Jared Goff. You knew that you were going to be able to get home to Caleb Williams. And so I think this offseason is all about getting the trenches right. For me, my dream free agent scenario is – moving on to the next topic there. My dream free agent scenario is attacking this offensive line and figuring out the defensive line. You got young talent on this team. I would love to see what Dennis Allen does with a Austin Booker. What does he do if DeMarcus Walker is still here? What do you do with a Javon Dexter in that taking that next step, who took a step this season? Not a big enough step, but definitely a step. What do you do in those moments when you have a ton of young talent on that defensive line that just hasn't been developed? So defensively, I would like to see, I think you make some draft selections, and we'll talk about those as well, but I would love to see you develop some of the talent that's actually in the room that you've drafted. Zach Pickens just falling off a shelf. What the heck happened there? You know what I mean? Guys like that.
I don't know.
On the flip side, though,
off the shelf.
I think you have to attack the offensive line of free agency.
Yeah,
I think you have
absolutely.
zero
Absolutely.
choice but to attack the offensive line in free agency.
I think that I like your point that, does Karan Amageji get trained up? Does he get coached up? So the other thing is, it's not only just signing the guys, but it's also developing the depth. Like, we don't have the real depth. Pryor is probably one of the guys we could keep as depth.
That Pryor was nice.
Braxton Jones, I would prefer him to be depth, but he might end up still
He
being
is
a
good
left
depth,
tackle.
yeah.
Well, he's a starting left tackle where I prefer an upgrade over there.
Maybe starting next year, boys.
I've been
Don't
wanting a
you
new
say
left
that.
tackle for the last
Right.
couple years now.
First round.
Since the first year of Braxton. I was like, oh, this is great. You got to get a better one, though, right?
I've been saying it from day one.
I'm so glad we made it through that season. You're going to upgrade that, right? Guys?
Guys.
Nobody hear me?
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
No, I think it would be to me, to get Trey Smith as an example would be all right. Or Ronnie Stanley's a left
That would be
tackle.
amazing.
Ronnie Stanley's a left tackle.
But
That'd
to
be a
get a left
dream. I
guard-
don't think he's leaving Lamar Jackson.
Well, you never know. Maybe they're all just
There's
you
no-
know
Could be cap.
that
could be
them
cap
losing that
casualty.
was
Could be
big.
cap casualty.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about that. Cap
We don't know what
casualties are a real
cap.
thing.
Yeah, we don't know which ones are coming down the pipeline. There,
Hey, I'm going
but
to tell you this right now. Great left tackles usually ain't cap casualties.
playing a lot of money.
Ronnie Stanley is not leaving Baltimore.
But
boys.
the thing
Stanley.
is
Well,
to
we
get-
said that about Trey Smith, and look where we're at now.
He's a guard.
I'm just saying, like a talented person on the offensive line
So-
usually doesn't become available.
So look, if we end up having to keep Braxton,
Right. Well,
you sign.
we do keep
If
Braxton.
you sign Trey Smith,
Okay.
and then we got our right tackle,
Darnell Wright.
Darnell Wright.
Okay.
So that means then let's just say, and not to say jump ahead, but Will Campbell is our other guard.
Starting left tackle.
Left guard.
That's why I'm saying
Guard.
no.
No, you move him to guard. So we need to because if you don't resign
The
Tevin,
arms are a little short.
if you don't,
I've
yeah,
looked
I
more into
understand.
him. The
He
arms are a little short.
He might be.
Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. I know he's a guard by the way he looks, but
You
Jesus.
sign a center for as a stopgap, and then you draft majors in the second round.
That's
so
fine.
to me, you sign one. I mean, you sign one guy. $80 million in the cap. That's cool. That really just means one player, because that's $20 million. $20 million per whatever. So you might get 4 players.
Go
if
find
anything.
Cam Robinson. I'm tired of seeing Braxton start. Go find Cam Robinson.
I wouldn't be mad.
That's
I would.
another
I would
15,
be
20 million.
Yeah, I don't
No,
know about
no,
that
no,
much.
no,
You
no.
might be able to get Cam for about
He's a little cheaper than
13, 12.
That would be
13.
great.
Yeah, Cam Robinson has not been phenomenal in his time in the NFL.
I hear you.
He's been, but I will say he's an upgrade over Braxton.
Yes, he
Or
is.
do you plan to draft Calvin Banks, which changes how you're signing?
He
Or
think Calvin
that.
Banks kind
Because
of.
he's going to be a left tackle.
He's probably gonna be a guard.
Kelvin?
As I'm going through it, I'm like, oh, this is a guard.
Or the Wyatt
Kelvin's a
Million
little
guy.
longer
It was
than,
either
than
Million or
Will.
them three.
No, he is. He's got longer arms than Will Campbell. But
I thought you said it was no Diddy, but I thought you said it was about the trunks, not the.
the
arms.
lower half. The
It
lower
is.
half is important for all 5 offensive line. But for your tackles, you usually want guys with longer arms because then you're not going to get beat on a swim move. You can get the arms out. You can get the left back.
recover better,
The
too.
left hand jab is pushing out
Yeah.
a lot more, and so you're keeping guys away from you, which allows you to have more control of them. That's why you want your tackles like that. Your guards can have shorter arms because they're coming in with the shorter burst. Got to get the hands up quick, get it to the chest of the defender trying to come at them. But all 5 offensive linemen should have, as Yurko has said, some meaty backsides.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want
Little stout, little
I
tree
want all
trunks.
5 of my offensive linemen like Kyle Lowry.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Just BBL Lowry out
Very
here.
stout,
You know what I mean?
stout,
Just
yeah.
cheeks for days. That's I don't even care. I'm talking offensive line. There's no pause on this.
Shout out to
I-
Big Dog.
Give me some
I
Marcus
need
Sweetmeats.
some BBL Drizzy on
BBL
the backsides of some of these offensive linemen.
But
out
it
here.
could.
Dang right.
BBL Drizzy.
I would like to create a lot of depth on that O line.
Drizzy.
I would like to re-sign Tevin. I think if we could re-sign him with
Oh,
an
yeah, that would be
incentive-based contract
Yeah.
in general,
Friendly
and then
contract.
if you get Trey, and now we can draft Campbell or somebody. Now you got a decision to make whether we might be able to move on from Braxton and
Or as I mentioned, Kevin Zeitler, who's an older guy. You could probably get him for cheaper because he's older, but he hasn't
Yeah.
been like banged up. So that's another name as well.
Sid H said 5 Samoans. I hear you,
Hey,
man.
I'm fine.
I'm
with
always
Samoans.
down with 5 Samoans.
Always.
We need some
First
Samoans. Shout out.
First off, I will never forget. I had this side story here. Stories from Pat's past.
Oh,
This could be bad.
Oh, boy.
Brought to you by nobody.
I remember in high school, right? I was talking to this chick. She was Samoan.
Uh-oh.
Cool people.
Uh-oh,
Phenomenal.
close up.
Phenomenal
She had a
woman.
good grip, huh?
Oh.
Listen, I was talking to this chick. She was Samoan, right? And she was
Kakua.
she was great. She like got to meet her family and stuff like that. And I never forget. She introduced me. First off, I played rugby with her family the day I met them, and I was like, well, I can't be no punk. So here we go. And so she introduced me to her little brother. Her little brother was like, I don't know, maybe 12, 10 or 12, something like that. 6'2".
Yep. Yep.
265-pound kid.
Yep.
And they're like, let's go play rugby.
Mungo.
Oh, God. I died that day, but it was worth it. You know what I mean? She was great. She was awesome. But I say all that to say, I'm always down for 5 Samoans.
Oh.
Well, there was a movie. There was a joke where the guy met the girl. And they had they were wrestling. It was a mouth guard, and
That was Martin.
somebody they were fighting and stuff. And they the guy they went to fight the brother, the dad. It was somebody dating the girl.
I don't
I
remember
can't
that.
remember what
I
movie.
don't
You made
remember
me
what
think
you're
of
talking
that.
about.
They'll come to me later.
What did this say? Late to the party, but saw this video earlier. Big shout out to Pat for clapping back at people who can't
Your
name.
name?
Oh, yeah, man. That was
Keep they name on my podcast.
Yeah.
My boy Paraphrase Shaq's quote.
just
Kobe,
said
how my bro,
Kobe,
I
tell me
swear,
how
back
I was going to post that video,
back
but I
taste.
was like,
He said that.
that's a little too far.
He said that.
I'm a back to
Kobe, brother, tell me how my taste. Oh, that's a great one right there.
That
Shout
was
out to
epic.
that, man.
That was
Shout out to the haters, man. Appreciate
Shout
that.
out to the
Absolutely,
haters.
absolutely.
Hey, they
Shout
be
out
in
to the
here.
haters.
They
be
big
in
mad,
here.
Still
man.
be
We
here.
just having a good time hanging
gonna be
out.
here.
Don't hate, man.
They're probably in
Congratulate.
there now.
Show's a little dark. gotta brighten it up. The video's a little dark. Yeah, you know what I mean. But no, I think here's the best part about this situation in free agency where the Bears are at right now. If you go out, and let's say you sign, I said Ryan Kelly. I think Ryan Kelly and Trey Smith are my 2 free agent signings.
That would
Okay.
be big.
Unfortunately,
That would be big.
you're probably dropping 35 M's on those 2.
1, 2,
It's a lot of
3,
money.
4, 5,
And most
6,
of it's
7,
going to a guard.
Nothing wrong with
5
that.
M's in the bank.
Most of it's going to a guard.
Nothing wrong with that.
But
That is something wrong
between
with that.
2, well,
No, what is it?
You don't.
You're getting the best guard in the league.
No, what's wrong with it is you've missed so much. You have to overpay
Instead
now.
of you paying $3
That's
million.
your fault, but now it's time to open the checkbook.
Yeah, but you don't want to get cash strapped to
But-
a point that you're like.
well, I'm
locked.
fine getting cash strapped on my offensive and defensive
No,
lines.
I was about to say, where
here's-
else do we need
you
money?
have to still
But
draft.
you have to. can't spend all of that money right there when you got a lot of your defense coming up on contracts within the next 2 years too.
Right.
You have to be smart, not to get into a cap
Fiscally
situation again. We
responsible.
just got out of one 2 years ago.
We
Yeah.
could
So-
potentially
so-
have
so we-
over
so-
80
so we
million
don't.
in cap space when we let some of these guys go. We're now sitting at 60 something. We will have
who
enough
let
money
go?
That's
to
not a
address.
lot of money.
Who left? Who you
Because
trying
if
to
you
cut left?
re-sign a guy, they're
We're in the
averaging
top 5 already.
They're averaging 15 to 20 million a contract per person. Like,
Bro, we're not,
Maya in the chat, shout out my wife. She said,
she say?
Pac, I just told the Samoan story with my wife in the chat. She said, Pax just said guard our quarterback.
exactly.
Shout out my son. He already know. Guard our quarterback. Yeah,
we're gonna do running back drills. We're gonna
that's
do
how
running
it
back
sounded.
drills, Pack. We're gonna do running back drills.
Hey, he gonna running back drills.
Running back
Hey,
drills.
hey
yes.
Pack said, we go blitz all night. Shoot.
I am gonna watch Remember the Titans with my son
doggone
tomorrow. I'm
right,
watching
man.
that tomorrow. Prepare him. We gonna prepare him.
The
But
whole
no,
point.
no,
Open the checkbook up,
the big thing for me with investing is you got a lot of guys on low money deals already, right? You've got DJ Moore on a smaller wide receiver contract. I think that's going to be big. Not to say it's not an expensive contract, but it's a little bit less. You've got Roma Dunze on his rookie deal. You have currently Darnell Wright on his rookie deal. You're going to draft rookies. Probably 2 on your offensive line. So I'm fine spending bigger money, especially for a guy like Ryan Kelly, because you're probably talking about a 3-year deal, 2 years guaranteed in there, where you're paying him about 45 M's. And then you look at a guy like Trey Smith. Now, Trey Smith's getting guaranteed money. You're probably talking about 20 for 5.
So 35
Also-
between the both of them at the least. That's fine.
You're probably talking about 20 for 5.
Also,
So, like, then you're talking about $35 million for those 2 players. You still got Wright. I'm not re-signing Tevin because unless he's coming back for like an Italian beef and a Southside dog,
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm not re-signing guys that I know are going to be hurt every single play, and he's too good of a player to have as a
I
backup.
give him 2 mil.
He's too good of a player to have as a backup.
You're not
Well,
going to make
do-
him incentive laden? Give him incentive laden.
I give him
Do
10
we-
mil. I give him the Nate Davis.
It ain't that
contract.
many
I think you-
incentives in the league.
I think you gotta, like I said, Tevin's one. But also, do you re-sign Keenan Allen? Is he gone?
No.
Is
you
he
probably
gone
let
to
him
LA?
go. You let somebody
'Cause
like,
that's another
like
20
Gerald Everett go. That's
No,
$5 million.
that's
You
how
gotta
you
cut.
get. That's how you get the $80 million. You're letting Keenan Allen go. You get that 3rd round pick.
No, I thought we were at 80 million now.
No, you're at 60.
No.
Oh, we're at
64.
69
Yeah.
million. We're at 69.
So you let Keenan Allen go. You get the $20 million back from him. You'll get a 3rd round, depending on what he signs for. Probably
He's
a
not
4th
on-
round
they,
pick.
they don't have him listed right now on there. That's not even with him. They don't even have Keenan in here in terms of the cap hits.
Right. Because he's still
So
on
we're
the
at
team.
69. If you sign him, that means you're dropping down the
I don't know if that's updated though, because I know we have $80 million.
right.
We got $80 million in cap.
So the thing is that okay, if you don't let him go, doesn't it go up to 100?
No,
No.
you're,
we're not
you're
that
at
upset.
$80
Based
million.
off his contract,
with everybody
timing
gone.
out.
With everybody
Okay.
gone, you're at $80 million.
Right, his contract expired,
Yes.
which means that okay. So if you So if you don't bring him back because that's another 20 million. The point is every guy you bringing in now is between 15 and 20 million dollars per.
Not every.
I mean, I'm
Majority.
talking about top
Majority.
guys. I'm talking about top
The
guys.
majority of the guys we want because we want top tier talent.
Yeah,
You
the
talk
top
about
tier.
in free agency, right?
In free
Because when it
agency.
comes to the draft, you're going to get cheap contracts for
No,
these
they
rookies.
had their
The draft
million,
is always
$3 million dollars.
Yeah.
Like I mean, Caleb's the most expensive.
Well,
at
listen,
$8 million is the number 1 pick.
No,
Right.
but you're starting your first guy. You have to factor that in as well. Your number 1 pick is a top 10 pick.
$6 million. Okay.
6.
7.
Rome, what did
He's
Rome?
not getting more than Caleb.
Rome's got 5,
Look,
and he was 9.
He's not getting
So
more than
about,
Caleb.
about there
So
6,
so
5 to
about
6 million.
with signing bonus.
That's
Yeah.
All of that, like that, all plays into it.
I got you.
And he's protecting my quarterback, so he's probably getting a nice penny. My point is that you have to factor that in. You have to factor your picks in, paying them. Like those are the things that you have to think about. But if you go, I don't think you're signing 15 guys this offseason.
No.
I think you're signing probably
3 to 4.
7 glue guys.
You
You
talking
sign
about-
some
you
guys that
talking
you
about
fill
draft?
in.
You talking
Well,
about including
guys
the
that
draft?
fill in, right? Guys that come in, you get them for $2 million. They fit
Well,
a
those-
role. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
those guys,
You're
there might be more of those.
You're signing those guys.
You're talking about your side roster.
Yes, but your big money guys.
Your starters.
You're talking about probably 3.
3.
I would
I'm
think
fine
you're
with
signing 2 offensive linemen. I don't even know if you're going on the defensive side.
I would.
Why not go in the draft? You got
No,
some
I'm fine
really
with
solid
that.
edge
You're
rushers in the
absolutely right.
draft,
I would.
and you're not. where you're probably drafting them, you're not benching them for guys that you may or may not sign.
I wouldn't, but would you bring back a Khalil Mack to spell your second round starter?
You got
Not
me
for
tingly
expense.
again.
Not
Now you got me
not his
tingly
contract.
Khalil Mack has had 23 sacks over the last 2 seasons.
If they go to a 3-4, that's what
I'll
he
bring
pretty
Khalil
much
Mack
was.
regardless.
Khalil Mack can play in anything.
I mean,
I'm bringing Khalil
I think he was
Mack
playing in a
regardless.
4-3 this year.
He's a linebacker and he
He's
can
a
put his
free
hand on the
agent.
ground.
You bringing him back?
Yep.
Hey, listen.
His family is still in Chicago,
Listen.
by
but
the
he's
way.
going to want 2 years, $22 million.
3 years, $22 million. That's
2
11.
years. 2 years.
Oh, that's 11. I'm fine with that. You paid Nate
No,
Davis
$22
$10.
million a year.
No.
That's what I'm saying,
He can
like-
take a cheaper deal. He knows that.
You're
You're going to give him $22 million a
based off
year.
performance.
Hey, he had a good.
He
had
got a
good
lot
year.
of sacks.
He had a good year.
Yeah,
He had a lot of sacks the previous year. This
He had a
year he
good
had
year.
11, right?
He had a good
That's a
year,
lot
so
of
you got to
sacks.
pay him.
That is a lot of sacks.
That's a lot of sacks, bro.
Hey, I'm bringing Khalil back.
Here's what
I'm
I
just
will
saying,
say.
but that's the point. 22 million. You're only going to get so many like elite talent guys or top talent guys. That's 15 to 20
They had
something million
6
per
this year. 6 this year.
This is the year for
Yeah.
that. This is the year for that. I'm sorry. I'm not holding back. This is the year to pay big money. Put your Powers Johnson on the table.
Well, you
3
could have
times.
drafted your Powers Johnson.
You could have, and
I'm
that's
with
the
you.
problem.
Well,
you
so
put it on the
aggressive.
table
You're so
3
aggressive.
times.
Here's why I agree with Jordan though. Here's why I agree with Jordan. You're spending the most money you've ever spent on a coaching staff. Jalen Johnson, good player.
Yeah,
Tyreek Stevenson,
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah.
good.
No,
Good.
no.
I like
He got his
Tyreek.
head on straight.
He's
Oh,
I
he
like
got his head on
Tyreek.
He's
straight.
mid.
Yeah.
Nah, he's
he's good.
You know what he is?
He's mid.
He's an agitator.
He
You
got-
know when
yeah.
agitators are annoying? When you lose it.
When you lose.
When you lose it.
When you're winning.
He's good.
Yeah, he's
Tyreek
like
Stevenson
Tyreek.
can play. He's an agitator though.
He's C.J. Gardner.
Yeah, I mean he's C.J. Gardner Johnson a little bit. You got to deal with that.
Yeah.
Kyler Gordon, good.
Yep.
Yeah,
T.J. Edwards,
Yeah.
Byard,
Yeah.
Brisk.
yeah.
Get a front 7, or get a front 4.
We just
I
need
agree.
2 more defensive linemen.
Yeah, I don't
I
even
agree.
think you need 2.
We
You got
just need
Javon,
one.
you got Montez. You need another
Yeah,
edge
but no,
rusher
you
opposite
get
Montez.
You get an impact player on that D
Billings might be
line.
gone.
Huh? Billings? Well, isn't he hurt again? They
Well,
said
Billings just hurt. It was a peck.
yeah.
It was a peck.
So I mean, look,
But
if
to
you
me,
take,
that's a. If you invest, you got them dogs back there already.
well, Josh Sweat is still. Is that somebody?
Josh Sweat's a name
That's
that
a
gets
name.
me tingly. You-
That's a name.
want the
JC
Sweat
wasn't
Bros.
as high on him.
I
Sweat
wasn't.
Bros.
I'm be honest
JC's
with you.
not as
I'd rather
high on
take
him.
Khalil. I'd rather take Khalil than Josh
Nah,
Sweat.
give me Josh Sweat. Bro.
Well, you can have Josh Sweat here
26.
longer. You know,
I'm just talking about money. If you're worried about money, you can get the same
well,
kind
they're
of
saying
production.
3 years, 18 million average.
Yeah, I take that. I take that
What'd you
deal.
say?
You
3
take
for
that
what?
deal?
You take that deal?
I take
Dang
that
good
deal.
deal.
Dang good deal.
You said 3 for 18?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Well, 3 years, 18 million.
That's what I'm
per.
saying.
All right.
Like,
18 million
each,
per.
and when you
I take that
spend-
deal.
Now, does that mean that you got to believe in Booker? Does that also mean
I think he takes a step forward
does
too.
Ian Wheeler come back and show?
Well, you
Now,
know.
we talk about running backs. That's this guy's
You
dream.
wanna- you
guy,
wanna
'cause
know-
He's cheap.
Hey, you want to know how much Ian Wheeler makes?
500,000.
$2.9 million over the next 3 years.
Oh my God!
Sign me up. 2.9 mil
Run him
over
into
the
the
next
ground.
3 years. Hey, I got 3 years out of you, baby.
Jesus, you want
He getting his money.
What about
Absolutely, I want Ian Wheeler to start. You know who was bad? DeAndre Swift.
Hey,
Was he good?
wait,
Nah, he was
fellas?
all right.
Might I interest you
oh boy.
in Dre Greenlaw?
Actually, yes.
How much-
27 years old.
How much
Right
Dre
now they're
Greenlaw
saying
making,
1
though?
year, $6 million
Did he get
right
hurt?
now.
Did he
He
get
was
hurt?
hurt with Achilles. He came back.
Oh, I'd be afraid of Achilles injury.
You,
It take
you
2
like
years.
those guys is coming
It
off
take-
of
it take 2
injury.
years.
I didn't like. No, I
Taking
don't like.
chances.
I'm just saying.
You like Saquon,
I just-
even though Saquon's
Well,
a different
Saquon's a
beast.
beast, and
That's
Saquon
true.
got them to where they
That's
are.
true.
Sorry,
That's true.
Saquon got him there.
Yep.
Had nothing to do with the defense.
totally all by
Yeah,
himself.
had
All by
nothing to do with that
himself.
offensive line.
Saquon.
All right.
He's the only
He
guy.
cleared all those guys out the way. He made his own lanes.
Clear path, fellas. It's my turn.
Nothing like Joel Lyon on the string. I think though our natural consensus here is you're investing most of your money in these trenches though.
Yes.
And realistically talking, what we've said is probably where we're at. I mean, you said 3 years, 18 per. I said 15 probably for Ryan Kelly, who's 31 years old. I think he'll be 32 by the time the season starts. You're talking 20 for Trey Smith. What are we at there? We are at That's 25. What did I say? That's 25, 20, 30, 35 mil?
Yeah.
Out of 80?
Out of 69. Yeah, out of 80. You got
What
another
about a Drew Dahlman
45
from the Falcons?
I'd rather get Ryan Kelly.
All right,
But I
give me
mean,
Ryan
Drew
Kelly.
was a good
I mean,
backup.
either my
Drew's
point
a
is
good
that
backup.
Because here's the thing. I'm taking Ryan Kelly as a bridge guy. I want Ryan Kelly here 2 to 3 years. I got Jake Majors coming.
want
And
Jake
more than
Majors.
likely, I'm taking Ryan Kelly as a bridge guy 2 years.
What round do you think he's going in?
Majors probably
Second round.
probably second or
If he's
third.
second round, you're going to start him. You're not going to sit him.
No, they
That's
said a
not
lot of
true.
times it's hard.
No,
No,
that's
you
not
true.
st-
Center-
no, he doesn't
the
start.
last 2 years,
he
they've
doesn't.
been starting all first and
He
second
doesn't
round
necess-
centers.
He may not start until like
If
week,
you don't have a center that
8.
actually is already
Week
had starting
10.
experience.
And why do you spend that $20 million on that when you can spend that $20 million?
So you can
No, not
develop.
20
bridge
million
guy,
on the
you
bridge
bridge
guy.
guy, you spend that on defense.
But he might be able to play guard. Or
So you can
Tevin
sit and
Jenkins. They're
develop
talking
him.
about 3 years, $13 million.
13 million per? No, I'm good.
Who
Of
you
them
want-
3
who-
years, you got 10 games.
No,
played
you get
14
10 games a
last year.
year. He'll give you 10 games
With a
a year.
good line, I bet
How
you
many
he plays
games?
longer.
See, y'all looking at
He
looking at
he
games
He
played.
played 12 games this year.
Yeah, how many you finish?
That's not the point.
Yes, it
He
is.
finished
Oh
10 of them.
yeah, I would like him
No,
to
he didn't.
He
finish.
finished like 10 of them.
No, he didn't. Tevin Jenkins
no.
finished like 6 games this season.
He kept getting
No,
hurt
but-
like in the middle of the,
Tevin
middle of the
Jenkins,
game.
like that's the thing. Like to me, you can't do that because of how much you rely on Tevin Jenkins.
No, you got a great point. I'm just saying that I like the idea that we're building up enough of a squad in terms of the depth. But does Tevin Jenkins, surrounded by other good talent, also insulate him from necessarily always getting hurt?
Well, I mean, Tevin's injuries aren't like him overextending. Tevin's injuries are just like getting nicked up, falling over on guys. Maybe it does. Like I'm not saying it doesn't, but why are we going cheap now?
Maybe he's
I
got
don't think it's a
whiplash.
product
Maybe
of-
he's got whiplash from
No.
Coleman Shelton letting the guy. Oh, he's tearing his back up.
Hey,
I mean, that could be wow. Tearing his backup is crazy.
Sorry, Jesus, that wasn't what I meant.
I mean, I don't think it's
challenge that.
necessarily a product of other people playing bad.
Thank you. I challenge that.
Well,
Chat,
Torres
let us
back
know.
up. Torres
Chat,
back
let-
up.
Let us know if that was a pause or not.
yeah, I don't think there's a product of other guys not doing their job as much as Tevin is just out there really going 100%. And sometimes when you go 100%, you get twisted up. You got. I think the last time his knee just got buckled in.
I feel like-
a
Yeah, he got
pile.
run over.
I
He got
feel
ran
like
over.
Breeze
So-
Nation doesn't want Tevin. They're all like,
No,
let
but
him go.
no,
Dark
it's not
mind.
that. It's not that. It's why.
No,
I-
when he's there, he's great.
That's great. Guess who else is? Trey Smith.
Yeah.
No, I want him and
But you're gonna draft a rookie who's probably gonna be moved in the guard
But you also-
in the first
but you
round.
also gotta
Or-
save some money. You also got to save some money for your early contract negotiations.
That's what I said. But those guys are in it. The scenario I just laid out to you, where you go get you said Dre Greenlaw. I don't know if I'm in on that, but like a Josh Sweat,
Bro, I just put it
like a Josh Sweat, right? Josh Sweat,
Josh Sweat is
about
yes.
18 million.
Him and the other Sweat, Montez will be about the same.
I'm getting a guard for 20. And I'm getting the center for 50. I knew that math was wrong. So I'm at about 53 million with 30 M's left over for you to still do something.
Thanks, Noah P.
Like, I think that's the conversation you got to have. Like, what's the point in not doing it? Because, again, just like I said on the defensive side, DJ Moore's good. Roma Dunze, talented. Cole Kmet, good. Caleb Williams looks like he's going to be the franchise quarterback we've been begging for. Yep. Please protect him. If you give him time, if you give him a pocket, imagine what he can do with Ben Johnson's system. There is no reason to not spend the money.
Yeah.
You can't keep
You just want
This goes into
But you also have to get the
last
swing tackles. You have to get the depth. Like, it's not just the
Bro,
solid
we got so many
five.
goddamn swing tackles
But
on
that's
this
what
team.
Detroit-
They all swing tackles.
You
Right,
only-
so
you only
we
need
keep
one or
half
two
of them on the
swing
swingers.
contract.
You need 1 to 2
The whole
swing tackles.
the whole starting line was nothing but swingers.
You doggone right, I said.
And they were getting used up. Let me tell you,
The swingers.
it was
On that
crazy
dang
out here.
Let's move on to the last time.
Yeah, let's finish it out here, man, because I think now you do have to have the conversation on where do you want the Chicago Bears to go in the draft. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Was it too much talent in the draft to waste it on D-line free agents? I can get behind that.
Well, that means
I'm not gonna lie to you.
one of our second round picks has to be a D lineman.
For
Yeah.
sure. I'm here for that.
But
Cool with that too.
I'm
It
greedy,
has
man.
to.
I want my O line fixed right.
I want my O line.
We can sign a defensive
unless by the grace of God, since Tennessee doesn't want to draft number 1 anymore, the guy from Penn State falls. 'Cause it's a
Oh,
potential-
Carter?
It's a potential
Abdul
now.
is not falling
it's
to
a
10.
It's a potential now because
not
Tennessee
falling
talking about
to
they want
10,
to trade
bro.
out.
That is a
So,
dream.
I did
You
not
wanna
say
talk
He's
about
probably a
dream.
top 5 guy.
Abdul Carter is like a faster Micah Parsons. That is a dream.
Well, that's
it's possible. If
yeah,
the
that's a
number one
different.
drives,
That's a different conversation. Then you're investing your money. But see, what the problem is though, you gotta be.
You got to do the unsexy thing.
Yeah.
It's uncool.
No, but that's different though. If I can get a dude like that, that's going out. That's fixing Jared Verse.
Would you give?
That's going out and getting Jared Verse.
Yep.
Would you give
Verse,
up? Would
Jared
you give
Verse?
up one of
Yeah,
your second
Jared
round
Verse.
picks to
Sacks in
move up
Alaska.
to 3 or 4 spots to get him?
No.
No, I would not because we got too many holes.
We need the line.
I thought you were talking about him falling. I'm like, if he
no,
falls,
no, gonna be there
I'm
at
saying
10.
he might fall, but if he doesn't fall, will you be willing to?
I bet you
say,
that-
say,
I
say
bet
he's
he's top
available at
5.
8.
no.
Let's do it. Let's go to the
No.
Who would y'all take if both were available? Abdul Carter or Will Campbell? Abdul Carter.
Abdul.
I would.
That's what I say.
Abdul Carter seems like he is
It's
he's
possible
a.
that he's going to fall, and if he doesn't fall,
Yeah, he's Steve-O in the minute. He said if Carter fall, he's selling drugs or something. He got a body.
Real talk.
there's a mask.
He got a-
He
going
like
on.
your boy that went to Houston, the left tackle. They said that he was
Oh, Laramie Thompson.
That's what I said. The
he
mask,
was-
Yeah.
mask with all that
right,
stuff.
bro.
Man,
like, no.
remember when that was a thing?
Yeah.
And now he's
I
amazing.
remember when I was working at AT&T and this dude was sitting there lying right next to me. He's like, I know the guy he was smoking weed with. Let me tell you about this.
They got Abdul Carter going
I
number
was
2.
like, this one's an idiot.
no, he's
Bro.
not going.
They got Shador going 1.
Yeah, I was gonna say, aren't
Abdul
the Browns two?
Abdul 2.
Yeah, but see, here's the
Browns.
problem. Here's the problem. If Shador don't go 1, I don't know how the Browns don't get a quarterback. If you the Browns, how do you not?
They
get a
need
quarterback?
one.
They do. They go Cam Ward. They have to.
I would say they go Cam Ward.
I'm just saying this is what they
But
said.
the
I'm
problem is
just
they
the
got
messenger.
Cam Ward, but they also still got what $200 million guaranteed.
You ain't got no
One-
choice.
it's
He
180,
sucked.
it's-
And he
but
hurt
he's
dead.
sucked,
He
but
hurt himself
But
again.
he still is on the books.
Oh,
for
he's on the
$180
books.
million.
Yeah,
That's why you
know
need a
what
rookie.
You know what that's called, Holden? That L.
And so you might as well draft
But
a rookie and only
no,
pay.
but they said that the word is that they're going to bring in a veteran. They're going to keep Deshaun as
I
a
can
starter,
see that.
bringing a veteran, so they won't be drafting one.
I can see that.
and they don't need a Abdul because they got
Well,
they got the Usman.
well, what you do is you get an Abdul, you bring in a
Oh,
veteran
I
that
forgot
can
I made
simply
that
just
one.
run the offense.
No, they talking about bringing in Heisman at 2.
Who's the Heisman?
Shador's wide receiver.
Travis Hunter.
Hunter, yeah.
Well,
well,
this
yeah.
is just I can see that too. But even so, Travis Hunter probably playing defense.
Oh, they said he's going to
Travis Hunter's a better
No, they-
DB than a
I
wide
know,
receiver.
but the word is in the NFL they're going to make him a wide receiver and spot duty him on.
He might want to be a wide receiver, but I think he's gonna go with the position that he plays best. He's a better DB than he is a wide receiver. So I would assume he probably ends up being a DB in the league. Oh, this is cute.
I forgot I
Look
made
at this.
last week.
Oh, this is adorable. Yeah, this is top 10 of the draft. Tennessee Titans, Cleveland Brown, New York Jets. Would have been
hot,
nice
man. That's
when I was
hot.
trying to remember the top 10. He got that out a little late. New York Giants, New England Patriots, Jacksonville Jaguars, who are a train wreck right now. Las Vegas Raiders, New York Jets, Carolina Panthers, New Orleans Saints, and then the Chicago Bears. Carter's not falling to us. There's zero chance
No,
that Carter
they're not.
falls to us.
There's
Bro,
not.
He
You know,
could go
of
to-
all them
Hey,
teams,
hey,
the
he could go to
Jets
Jackson-
ain't
the
the Jets
Jacksonville
ain't
Jack-
letting them get past. Vegas absolutely ain't
Carolina
letting them
can
get
take
past.
him. They don't need a
Vegas wants
quarterback.
a quarterback.
Yeah.
Carolina,
Quarterback hunting.
he's not
Who?
coming.
Carolina ain't
No, they
letting them
talking
get
about
past.
Vegas might. They talking about Vegas jumping up to 1 because Tennessee wants to trade out of it. So with them, Tennessee going down.
Tennessee doesn't have a quarterback unless they believe in Will Levis.
They're saying that they don't want the quarterback.
They like
They don't.
man-
Well, they are
feel-
talking about
they
trading
feel-
out of one.
They don't feel
Yeah.
Shador.
They
or
don't feel
Cam
there's a
Ward
great
is-
draft.
Well, I
are
believe that too. I don't think
transition-
this is a great
generational.
crop of quarterbacks. No.
They don't feel they're generational, so he wants to trade
Right.
out of
I
number
agree
one.
with you.
Or maybe the Bears could trade the number 1.
Yeah, right now.
Calm yourself
the
down.
dumbest thing in the world. The dumbest.
The one thing I will say though is that if I went at 10, I'm pretty set on going offensive line unless something crazy happens, just like every draft.
They have
right?
us
Like,
getting Kelvin Banks.
I could see Kelvin Banks. I'd be excited about Kelvin Banks. I think Will Campbell probably goes before
They have Will Campbell going 7th
to the Panthers,
to the Jets.
to the Jets. I can see that.
Yeah, they need.
I wouldn't be
Jets-
surprised by that.
Didn't the Jets just draft the tackle?
Olu?
Jets
yeah,
drafted
Fashanu.
Olu Fashanu.
Right.
You need a couple of them.
Still need more linemen.
Yeah, you need a couple.
5 linemen.
You can never
You
can
need
never go
five
wrong.
tackles?
Five.
You need 5 tackles.
You can never go wrong. Well, you can move
5
tackles
line.
into guard. You can always move good tackles.
It's okay to
into
move
guard.
them, but you can't move him.
Right, which is what I said. That you bring Braxton, you slide Braxton on the inside.
Well, he's not a
that
good tackle.
He's not that good.
That's the difference. You can move good tackles into guards for great tackles.
But you already got Braxton paid for. You slide him in, and he's serviceable until you find somebody or you draft.
I'm good.
You just can't cut him.
I'm
You
good.
can't cut him.
Yeah, you can cut him. You can cut him. Trust me. You can cut him. The one thing for me though that I am intrigued by is what the Bears are going to do in that second round, because 2 picks in that second round. I believe it's 39 and 41.
I thought they were both back to back, weren't they?
39 and 41. No,
39 and
it's not
41.
Okay.
That's going to be really, really interesting to see if they go aggressive offensive line there. And maybe, because here's the thing with 10. While we want that great offensive lineman, who's the best player available that falls there?
Probably offensive lineman.
You talking about 39?
Could be. No, I'm saying at 10.
Oh yeah, it would probably be.
It's probably gonna be this guy. If Will Campbell,
Kelvin
I would
or Will.
love for Will Campbell.
Yeah,
us to
Kelvin
get
or
him.
Will.
But it might be this other Wyatt Milliam guy, out in the West Virginia guy. They're going to scout whoever the best guy is.
Do you trade out of that spot?
I think
fall
you can
down
trade
to
down
around
and still get
15
that
or
guy from West
17,
Virginia.
and then
pick up another second rounder
And
and
pick
have
up another
3
second
second
round.
rounders. I like the
could.
way you do business.
You could. It depends.
be the
It depends on how, and this is why you got to have the coaching staff right. Depends on how you grade these guys out.
Yep. We don't know.
That's
what
what
the
it comes
scouting
down to.
process
It
is.
depends on how they grade out. How is there a massive difference between Kelvin Banks, Will Campbell, and what's the boy name from West Virginia? I ain't even
Wyatt Milliam.
Wyatt Milliam. How much of a difference is it? Now, I think there's a difference.
There
I would
is.
rather go for the best talent available.
There's usually
I would rather
difference.
go for a Kelvin Banks. I would rather go for one of those top guys. But if you go through your evaluation, you pay Ben Johnson a lot of money. You pay the scouting staff a lot of money. If you go through your evaluation, and you say, well, there's not that much of a difference, we can move down here, get him, and get a second round pick, I'd be fine with that too. The thing for this draft is you really have to make sure that you're addressing, if you go with that top pick, the best talent available.
Mm-hmm.
Top 10 picks you don't play around with.
you can't miss.
Top 10 picks, you go with the best talent available unless it's a running back.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you looking at like last year. No, 2 years ago. Why am I Darnell Wright? I don't know. I can't think. Darnell Wright. I mean, everybody in that draft. Who was was it Paris Johnson from Ohio State? Right.
Yes, he went
Paris
first.
Johnson.
Was it? And there was maybe another guy.
Broderick Jones was
Broderick
after
Jones.
him. He didn't go before. He didn't go
But
before.
the idea is that to get one of the top guys, period.
Yeah.
So it could still work out. I mean, you're looking at maybe in terms of rating, they're very close. If these are one of the top 3 guys to get out of the entire draft class, I mean, last year Alt was a clear away favorite, number 1 top consensus lineman, and then the surprise was they took was it Tennessee or somebody took the other tackle because Fashanu dropped.
Oh, that's right.
It was
Fashanu
Alt
dropped.
then Fashanu.
Yeah.
You're right.
And then all of a sudden in the draft, it was the other guy that they took. I think it was Tennessee.
Because we thought Jalen.
Jordan Morgan?
No.
Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter was going to be there.
No. Jalen Carter is our.
That's the Darnell
I'm
Wright
talking about
draft.
last year's draft.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Darnell Wright draft.
The Darnell Wright draft was Paris Johnson and I think some other linemen, but no one was really high on
What was the
Darnell
Jalen
Wright.
Carter draft. Jalen Carter was Darnell Wright draft.
Yes,
right?
I'm
Yeah,
saying
okay.
then last year,
Okay.
last year's draft, it was Alt and Fashanu.
Right.
And then it was another guy. I think it was-
Skoronsky.
No,
Shout out
no,
Crimson.
it wasn't
Skoronski
Peter.
was-
Peter Skoronsky.
That was the other guy, right? It was
That was the other
Skoronski
guy in the
and Paris Johnson.
in the
Nobody was even
Darnell
talking
Wright
about
draft.
Darnell Wright like that.
Skoronski didn't go top 10.
No,
No,
but I'm
Skoronski
saying they
went
were the
late.
top guys that were being rated in the draft.
You thinking
But you
Joe
s-
Alt? You thinking Joe Alt last year? J.C. Latham went last
Latham.
J.C.
year.
Latham. Thank you.
J.C. Latham.
That's who I'm
Tennessee, I was
talking
right.
about.
With the
Yeah.
That's
Tennessee.
what I'm talking about.
From
J.C.
Alabama,
Latham.
I was
Olu
right.
Fashanu went 11.
Right.
Yeah,
But they-
Latham was the one that we didn't think would be in the top 10. That's
Right.
where you.
So you
that's
don't-
where
we
it
don't
was a
know where
surprise.
they're gonna
Talise
scout these guys.
Fuega went 14.
Talise was nice. Yeah.
Fuaga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amarius Mims went 18.
Right. So the point is that once they start the scouting process, right now it starts out that Will Campbell's the number 1 guy. It may be one of those
Could be
situations
Kelvin
where, I don't, because like the one that stands out to me the most, like in the draft, was like Quentin Nelson. He was far away, head
How
of
far?
shed, like he was. That's the guy you put in day 1 starter, boom, book it.
Yeah.
We don't know what this is going to be when they go through the evaluation here. It could be this is 1A, 1B, 1C. It could be that one of the guys ends up falling, and it's going to be somebody else that actually moves up on the boards. So it's going to be interesting. At top
It's going
10.
to be a quarterback. that's what's going to make things interesting. There's going to be the random quarterback that
No, I'm
moves
talking
up the
about
board.
O-lineman,
Comes out of nowhere.
No, I'm
Yeah.
saying to move the O-lineman down.
Yeah.
Like you,
That
comes
could be a
out of
situation
nowhere.
too.
you always end up just like, oh, look at that guy. What's
And
he doing up
You
there?
got your one
I'm just hopefully-
receiver, I think, that's in the top 10, too. Tet something.
Oh,
He's
he got a weird
6'5".
name. Tet Triana, Tet
McMillan or
something.
something. Yeah, Tet McMillan.
You're talking Tetaroya McMillan.
Yeah,
Tetaroya.
he'll be top 5. Top 10.
They have him going to 8 to the Panthers.
If we're going a little bit further into out of the first round, like the way that I think we can do this and address a lot of areas, because if you notice, one of the media appearances when Ben Johnson went on Colin Cowherd, and I know you probably won't subscribe to this, but one of the things he mentioned is that he wants to augment the running back room, and you know what that
Don't
means
even
because
go
he's
down.
going to
Don't
try and
even-
blueprint what they had in Detroit with Sonic and Knuckles, David Montgomery, and Jameer Gibbs. Now we already got DeAndre Swift.
No, we got
don't-
old boy.
you-
We waiting
what,
on Ian
Roshan?
Wheeler. No, Ian Wheeler.
Ian Wheeler. I'm
Ian
fine
Wheeler.
with that.
You know
but
what
I
I'm
don't. You honestly think Ben Johnson's going to sit on his hands and say, "Oh, Ian Wheeler's the guy that we
That dude
we've
is
been missing."
fast.
You're right.
That's Gibbs.
But are you?
No, you know,
come on now. Ian Wheeler's not Jameer Gibbs.
I'm
No, that's
saying
not-
the speed
yeah, no,
aspect.
No, he not.
I'm saying fast.
No, not that fast. No, you nuts.
I wish he would.
Yeah.
Didn't that man run a 4.3? That's fast.
Jameer Gibbs. No,
Jameer's
Ian
a
Wheeler
different type
did.
of
Ian
speed,
Wheeler
man.
did run a 4.3.
Okay, that's
type of
the
speed.
back
I'm sorry,
end.
this is Olympics.
No, the back end of the 3.
Oh my God.
No, Jameer Gibbs run the front
Oh,
end of the
Lord
3.
Lord
hey,
have
hey,
mercy.
that's different. That's different, Joel.
But no, so we have 39 and 41 in the second. I'd go 39 if we're talking about a name that's there for the edge. Princely Umuli.
No, you can't say his name. I don't want him.
Umaliaman, something like that. You know who I'm talking about. Princely.
Couldn't say
Princely is his
Talise
first
Fuega.
name.
He looked all right this year.
Yeah, Princely was nice.
I keyed.
And then right after that, 41, there's a running back, and I've said this a couple times with. Oh, that's right, Pat. Omarion Hampton.
No,
Everybody
need
keeps talking
linemen.
about Ashton Genty. Omarion Hampton.
Actually, we didn't even talk about Josh Simmons. That's the other lineman
That's
from Ohio State.
Listen,
One of those guys might be
Yeah.
one
He
of
got
those.
hurt, I think, so
He did.
his
They
stock
said he
probably
had
could
6
go
games,
up.
but that's another guy that we can look at in that top. Josh Connerly's another guy. So there's at least 4 probably solid. Hopefully they pick the right one of these solid tackles or offensive line.
Josh Simmons is a move back guy though, and he got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's a guy that
could
you would
fall.
move 15, 18
That's
range
what I said.
for.
You trade out of 10 to 17, and you grab.
But are you
somebody
banking
like
on
that.
your first pick being somebody that's coming back
Yeah,
from
I'm.
injury?
Hey,
though?
look,
That's what the
I-
Bears
listen,
always done.
Hey, listen, I'm good with picking dudes coming off injury. We keep doing that.
Kieran,
I'm good.
We broke the streak.
But at 10,
No, we didn't.
At 10,
We just drafted Karan Amagaji.
We started a new one because we drafted Darnell Wright and he wasn't hurt.
I'm
Karan
saying is-
Amagaji got drafted last year
Not in the first round.
in the 3rd round.
I'm talking about first round tackles. Chris Williams, Mark Colombo.
we had a
nice
we had a run.
hurt lineman.
We had a run.
At
Karimi.
10,
Gabe Karimi.
I'm gonna say, at 10, we are in a predicament that we're gonna probably miss out on the 3 people that we want.
Pterodactyl Pops, give us our guy.
So
Not really.
It's potential for us to
I mean,
trade
name
back
him.
a couple
I
spots and
want
grab a
Kelvin
second.
Banks. Who you want?
I'm fine with
I
Kelvin.
want the number 1. I don't want anybody's number
Kelvin
2.
Banks was number 1.
You
He
want
was
the
number 1 for a
one.
while, but then he moved down to number 2.
But-
Anderson.
but we don't know that yet.
Who do you
Yeah.
want?
Kelvin Banks is still great. What?
He's
Yeah,
great,
who
but
do you want?
I want the number 1 guy.
If he's
I'm
here,
tired-
you're gonna
I'm
be
tired of
happy.
settling for
Oh,
number
my
2.
God.
So we're in the spot in the spot in the draft where we're in the number 2 guy instead of the number 1. We need a number 1 plug in day 1 starter for me.
But what if they
course.
Kelvin Banks.
What if they
Yeah.
both still are good though?
You don't
Why
know.
does it matter?
Draft is a flip of a coin. So I
Both
want the number
drafted in
1
the
guy.
top 10. That's apples and oranges to me.
Yeah,
I
no
don't know.
hurt
Not
backs,
to me. I
no
don't know. I
freaking
don't know.
bad whatever. Just draft us a day 1 starter
Yeah.
off the whether it's a new left guard. It looks for if Campbell ends up being more of the left guard, that's cool. If we sign Trey Smith, or do we have to end up re-signing Tevin? Whatever. The
That's
idea.
just you.
I'm not. I think I'm not.
Why'd you
number
make
one.
fun of yourself just now? You said we have to resign
Because a lot of people,
It's like-
some people are high on it, some people are not. I like Tevin Jenkins.
That was you. You said that. Nobody else
I'll
said.
I'll give
I was talking about Breeze Nation.
I'll give Tevin 10. I'll give 10.
I ain't giving
I'll
Tevin.
give him 10.
Y'all.
Oh no, I'm giving Tevin 10 now. If you get Nate Davis,
on, man. This is
Nate
disrespectful.
play Davis is a 10. You can give Tevin every day to day 10.
I'm giving Tevin a swift kick in the backside on the way out the door.
Oh,
Bro,
that's
you
how
gotta-
you gonna do Tev?
Bro, listen. I get we
Come
like.
on,
I get we
man.
like Tev. I get that when he plays, he is that guy. When he plays, ain't good enough.
It's not. No, I
Move to the
agree
right
with you.
So
side.
I'm not giving you
Move
$10
him to the
million.
right side. Move him to the right side. He doesn't.
I do love him on the right side, but why would I move him on the right side when I hopefully am going to sign Trey Smith, who was on the
that's a
left
done
side of Darnell Wright in college?
Yep,
But if
that's
we
a
don't
done
get
deal.
I do
him,
like that too.
I love it. Like, I'm good. Stop it.
Yeah, they were paired
Get
up.
some help. Hey, man, as y'all can see, this is going to be a fun offseason. Did you just not throw the draft scenario thing?
no,
up there?
it went off. I just put
okay.
it back on. But I guess it feels like we're about to end it. So
Yeah, we about to get up out of
just
here.
fast
I
forward.
appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man. As you can see, it's
Stop
going to be a long off season of evaluating talent. Of course, we're gonna bring back the ultimate mock draft. We might have to do a couple of them. Them was fun.
That's
Yeah, it
right.
was
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
I'll bring
Nice
back my
mock.
weather guy.
Nice mock.
Nice, man.
We gotta throw a TV behind Drew now.
Doggone right.
Yeah,
What did you say? It was Wendy with a
it's like-
shade of
With a
Caleb?
chance of Caleb Williams.
Whitney with a chance of Caleb
Yeah, you
Williams.
doggone right.
Let's see how things are looking in your neck of the woods. That was
That's
hilarious.
No, we had a good time.
Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We will be back tomorrow. I had to think about that.
guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll be back
I'll be in
tomorrow.
You guys.
For another edition of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. And, of course, the Morning Breeze, me and Mr. Meaty, Jordan JCC in the morning. Depends on how much bacon he has tonight before the weekend. Sometimes those Friday mornings, he's in a coma.
Yeah, I better get
Oh, boy.
I'll be up. I'll be
Yeah,
up.
we'll see. Hey, for the super producer Joel Holt, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, Mr. Drew Better. If you knew better, you do better. Say who better? Nobody, bro. It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there in Chicago. Bad Donald. One love.
Thanks, Daryl
Peace.
Davis. It's a good show.
I would hope so.
You doggone right.
We've been doing this long enough. We shouldn't suck.
Better than
Technically,
some
we had
shows
over
I know out there.
500 in the chat,
we
including
did.
Twitter. Shout out Twitter.
Shout
All
out
right,
to Twitter.
shout out Twitter. Shout out Pax for giving us a shout
Shout out
as
Big
well.
Pax out here. Baby boy. Big Pax energy.